classroom here at Wellington High School. Welcome once again to another episode of Dialogue with the Dukes. I'm your host, Bill Berger, and today the show is being sponsored by the Colonial Barbershop located at 121 West Derrick here in downtown Wellington. Today's subject is wrestling, and as we saw in both basketball and bowling, the seasons are almost done for all of the sports. So instead of looking at the beginning of the year, we're going to look more like towards the end of the year and how the teams have done, how the team has done, and how the individuals have done in wrestling. So to my immediate right, we have Derrick Andolsek, and to my immediate left, we have Jeremiah McKee. So welcome to both of you. I'm going to ask the same question, first question to both of you, and we're going to start with Derrick. Why and when did you decide you wanted to become a wrestler?
I started wrestling in I think second grade, just to go out and try it, and I just love the sport, and I just started doing everything I could to be better at it, and I'm just still doing it.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jeremiah?
I started in fourth grade, I believe, and I don't know, I just heard about it through the Bachmores. You know, I've heard of them. They run practices, used to it in a circle, and I don't know, it was just something fun, a fun sport for me, so I just stuck with it throughout high school.
Is it something that you look at as far as a physical aspect, or is it more the technical aspect of it that you enjoy more?
I'd say the technical, because I don't really like the physical part of trying to be stronger than everybody.
Mm-hmm. Do either of you lift any weights or anything like that?
Yeah. Coach just gave us on a program, because if you don't lift throughout the season, you'll lose a lot of matches just for being weaker. So
yeah, I understand. Yeah. Well, Derrick, as I said, we're almost to the end of the wrestling season. What are your thoughts on this year's team, and what was the outlook at the beginning of the year?
Well, at the beginning of the year, the first day of practice, we had 16 or 17 guys, and they just slowly started dropping off, and we got left with about 10. We knew going into it that it would be tough to win duels,
right.
But we did get a couple wins, I think 3 or 4. But we do pretty well at tournaments. We're usually in the middle of the pack. So I think we've done pretty well for the numbers that we've had and the experience of the kids.
Sure. So talked about the beginning of the year. Now, what matches or tournaments are actually left?
Well, this Wednesday we have our senior night coming up against Avon Lake. It's just a one-on-one duel. And then the coming Saturday we have our conference tournament, which will start early, go on throughout the day. And then after that, we just have 2 weeks, I believe, until sectionals, and that's the start for working up the sectional.
Back to you, Derrick. Is wrestling, do you feel, more of a team sport, or do you feel it's more of an individual sport, or do you think it's a combination of both?
That's kind of a tricky question, because I'd say both, because it depends on what kind of tournament you're doing. If it's a tournament, then it's going to be more individual, trying to see how you can do against other people. But if it's a duel, where it's a school versus school, that's more of a team, because you got the option to move kids around in the lineup to try and get more points for your team to win the duel. But yeah, I'd have to say both overall.
Jeremiah, how do you actually prepare for the matches? Does it depend on whether it is a dual match, or a tournament type thing? And because most of them aren't at home, that has to be different in the preparation, is it not?
I'd say the preparation's about the same. It's wrestling's always been away from home, so it's not really much of a difference when we go and wrestle at someone else's school. And preparing for the matches is just you gotta get ready physically by running, warming up, drilling with other guys, get a good sweat going so you're not going out there cold. But then it's also a mental aspect to it where you gotta be right in the head and get ready to go, because sometimes it's a hard match. You gotta go for 6 minutes without stopping.
Yeah, exactly. What are the advantages of being at home? Does the home crowd help you at any? Or again, as you said, in a tournament, it's so much individual type sport.
I think having a home crowd there is nice. You get to see all your family and friends. They're out there supporting you. It's just nice having that corner of people right there just supporting you. It's just a good feeling.
And speaking of the home matches, I correct myself, because I will be announcing you all for the senior night because of that dual match So I will be there, and I will be seeing both of you there, and I will be announcing for you also. Well, Jeremiah, what do you feel like is the schools that are your main competition? And I'm talking now not with an individual type situation, but more of a dual meet type situation. Which schools are the most competitive for you? Well, actually, for the whole team.
For the whole team, yeah, I'd have to say Keystone or Black River. Like those are definitely one of the two. Maybe even Firelands. Those are like definitely the three toughest teams we have in our conference, and our guys are always going back and forth with them. So definitely those three.
Well, I can remember a couple of years ago against Firelands, they had a halfback from the football team, running back, who also wrestled, and he was like gigantic. And I felt sorry for the poor either Wellington guy or somebody else from another school going against him, because he was a tough individual.
Those football players are pretty big.
Yeah, exactly. Well, when we come back after this message, we will talk more about the individual aspects of wrestling and so on here at Wellington High School. This is Dialogue with the Dukes.
Attention, do you want a haircut for an affordable price? Visit Colonial Barbershop, located in Wellington, Ohio, on 121 West Derrick Avenue. We do haircuts for people like seniors to young kids. We have a price of a regular haircut for $13, a veteran haircut for $12, a senior haircut for $11, and a head shave for $20. Also, if your beard does not look good for your girlfriend or your mom, we will have a beard trim for only $5. If you have a problem with your hairline or a problem with your hair and it grows too much, don't worry, we will fix you right up and get you looking fresh. If you look like you need a haircut and you're not looking fresh for your date night, call 440-752-1078.
We are back. If you are in need of a haircut, and I certainly am at this particular point, go ahead and visit the Colonial Barbershop. I believe it's one of the oldest barbershops in the state of Ohio. They're located at 121 West Derrick in downtown Wellington. We talked during the first part of the episode with the wrestlers here about the team aspect of it, the individual aspect versus teams, what are the schools that are most competitive, what actually goes on in tournaments versus dual meets and so on. I want to get more into the individual aspect with both Jeremiah and Derrick this time. So first of all, Derrick, as we said, most of the season's already done. What were your goals when you first started out this year for you yourself?
I had two big ones that I really want to get accomplished yet. I want to get another conference championship or conference win or first place, I guess. And I want to go to state. The past 3 years I've been a district qualifier, and the past 2 years I've been like one match away from making it. So this is the year.
I can see where that's definitely a big goal. What about you, Jeremiah?
Almost the same. I definitely came into the year and I was looking to not lose a match, because the previous years I've been like a few matches lost, so I was kind of trying to keep it at zeros here.
Sure.
But I've lost 2 so far, so that was a little disappointing. I didn't get to that one, and then I want to place at state and hopefully make it to the championship this year, because I've made it the past 2.
That would be fantastic. Well, for those of you who have seen the wrestling matches at home or gone to a wrestling match away, we know that there are 3 periods of 2 minutes each. Correct me if I'm wrong. And you both start out in the first period. Both wrestlers start out in the neutral position, both standing. But then after that, after the first period is done, if there have no pins or anything like that, then we have a coin flip. And whoever wins the coin flip decides whether to start on the top or start on the bottom. For you, Derrick, which position do you like best, top or bottom?
I'd say it kind of depends against the guy. Like if their style of wrestling. Like if I think I'm gonna be able to hold him down and like secure a pin, I might go top. But typically I'm gonna go bottom, because it's just the free point, pretty much. Because it's not hard to get out.
Do you kind of, are you able to know or get any film or anything like that with the wrestler that you're going to wrestle that night? Are you able to know what kind of a wrestler that person is, or is it? Do you go in cold? So you kind of learn something during the first period. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's a big learning experience.
Okay, very good. Then for you, top or bottom?
Definitely bottom. That's easiest position for me to get out of. score points, but it's like Derrick said also, it depends on who you're wrestling and how the match is going for you, because it might work better just to not choose it all.
So you, at least going into the tournament or even the dual matches, you know you're going to have probably at least 2 matches a night. How do you actually pace yourself, Derrick, to not lose everything in the first match and be done in the second match?
Well, I think the conditioning that we do at practice is it's like a big benefit because we're told to just go hard and just keep hammering and pounding at them, and eventually, after your match, you'll have enough time to cool down, get some fluids in you, and just replenish. And by the next match, it seems like you're good to go hard again. So I don't really know if there is like a pacing aspect to it. It's just give it your all and don't look back.
And don't forget, that wrestler probably has already wrestled one match, at least one match too.
Right.
So he is just as spent, if that's the right word to use, as you may be. How about you, Jeremiah? Do you actually pace yourself, or is it more like Derrick said, go all out?
It's exactly like Derrick said. You got to go all out for your first one and get ready to go up for your second one, because you never know what happened. But it's just like he said, you have plenty of time, at least half an hour between matches to recover and get ready for your next one. So you just go all out and try to get the win for that first one.
Yeah, exactly. I noticed on a lot of your T-shirts, on the back it says "Train like a madman." Do you train like a madman, Derrick? And are there any other slogans that are within the program, or something that you think about when you're training now?
It's just always been like a part of us as far as I can remember. Even in junior high, the slogan was always on the back of our T-shirts. For other slogans, like Coach Waters will sometimes give us a quote or something that he's heard.
Okay.
And it's basically just keep our spirits up and keep us motivated. But
Oh, we'd like to make sure that we have Derrick and Jeremiah here, but we want to make sure that we let everybody know who else is on the wrestling team. So, Jeremiah, you do the honors here. List all the people. And by the way, apparently there is no actual wrestling roster. So this is from Mr. Bowman, who sent this to me. So hopefully we're not missing anybody. So go ahead, Jeremiah. Who else is on the team?
All right. Well, we have myself, Sam Smith, Dominic McKenna, Derrick Andolsek, Caden Conrad, Austin Sutherland, Ryan Cantu, Will Sutton, Devin Diedrich, and Alex Sparks.
And believe me, every one of those guys is very important to the whole entire team here at Wellington High School. Well, the last couple of questions. We're in the middle of another program here at Dialogue with the Dukes. It's called Thrive, and they talk about the mind, body, and spirit aspect of living your life. And so this question to you, Derrick, has to do kind of with this Thrive program that's going on right now. You're a wrestler. Do you feel like you are getting a lot of benefits physically from wrestling, or emotionally, or is it a mind, body, spirit type thing when you're actually wrestling, not only training, but actually on the mat?
I'd say it'd have to be everything, like physical, emotional, spiritual, everything. Like you gotta train hard physically to be able to compete well, and without that, you're not gonna succeed as well. If you win a close match, it's gonna be emotional. If you go to state, it'll be emotional.
Oh, absolutely.
People got their own superstitions, so it's everything that you could think of. It's just an all-around sport that's just got everything.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, because being a former athlete from a long time ago myself, I had a lot of superstitions myself. Do you have superstitions?
I used to, but not so much anymore.
Is that right, really?
Yeah, I know what my capabilities are, and I know that if I go out and do it, then I'll be successful.
I haven't stopped. I play senior softball in a league, and I still have superstitions, as far as what I eat in the morning, what bat to use, things like that. So I still have superstitions. Do you have superstitions, Jeremiah?
I catch myself thinking about it sometimes, and
Yeah.
I just make sure that I'm eating and doing the right things. So whenever I think of a superstition, I'll just tell myself, nah, that's stupid. No, you're good.
Well, I guess I'm stupid, because I still have those sort of superstitions. Well, the final question to you, Jeremiah. How has Coach Waters helped you during the time that he's been here and you've been in the program? And what has he taught you?
Coach Waters has helped me a lot with like just bettering myself as a wrestler and a person. He's he's always making sure keeping us in check if we're getting out of line, out at a tournament or something like that. So he's definitely on top of us, which is good. And then he's just really good at like motivating us. Like he's got his quotes like Derrick said and everything. So he's like up there always just making sure we're being the best versions of ourselves. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Although I really wish that we had more wrestlers, because I hate it when I see that somebody wins on either a forfeit or no wrestler on, and it doesn't matter whether it's Wellington's team or the other team. And I really hope, and this I guess is a commercial, for those of you who might be interested in going out for wrestling, or if you've had previous wrestling experience, next year, if you're not a senior and graduating, like these two gentlemen are, hopefully you'll think about coming out for the wrestling team and being a part of this fantastic wrestling program here at Wellington High School. Well, once again, we would like to thank Derrick Andolsek and Jeremiah McKee for coming in and talking about not only the individual aspects of the wrestling program here at Wellington High School, but also the team aspects of it, and especially since this is something different, because as we did with basketball and bowling, now with wrestling, the season is almost done, so we're able to reflect back and see how the team and individually you've done. So we'd like to thank both of you for coming in and talking about the wrestling program here at Wellington High School. We'll be back again very soon with another episode of Dialogue.